So, Pat, could we start off? Could you give us your background in the industry?
Okay. First of all, I'm proud to be Canadian. Okay, and also Hong Kongese as well. I graduated from Canada and graduate study in Canada, and spent my good old days in Nortel and Motorola. And about 10 years ago, and I came back to China, and I joined UT.com. And 3 years ago, I left UT.com and founded this company.
So mobile is something you know very well.
Very well.
Could you give us a background into Borqs, what it does, the revenue streams, and where it's going?
Right. Now, Borqs, what we do is, let's go back to the industry right now. The industry, we are fully aware that the feature phones is dropping, and then the smartphone is picking up tremendously. And you can see in a lot of the industry research that the smartphone is growing at least more than 20% in the industry. Especially you see the hype of the iPhone and then the Google phone, the Android phone industry. Again, the feature phone is dropping, smartphone is growing up. Now, a lot of people actually like Android because this is one of the open system that can be used in the industry. You look at the three open OS system in the world, Android, Symbian, and Windows Mobile, and you'll see that Windows Mobile is always there because Microsoft is rich enough to be there. And Symbian is declining, and the only supporter is basically the Nokia. And the only open system in the smartphone OS is Android. And our job as Borqs is actually to customize the Android for the mobile operator as well as for the handset makers. And we collect royalty, NRE, as well as the services we provided to the operator and handset makers based on our Android system, or Android customized system.
So you've got two types of customers, mobile operators and handset makers.
Correct.
And where are your customers?
Right now, as an operator, our biggest customer definitely is in China. And probably you've heard about the O phone, the OMS phones in China, which is the Android customizations for China Mobile. The complete the O phone operating system, or the OS, the application, usually we call it OMS, is actually provided by Borqs. This is our first customer. And through our relationship with China Mobile, we also have the customer like Verizon, Vodafone, and SoftBank. And these are some of the worldwide customers that we have. That's from the operator side. From the handset side, other than RIM, Nokia, Apple, and HP, because they're not really supporting Android, the handset makers you can name, like Samsung, LG, and all of them probably our customers as well. And in fact, you will see a Dell phone going forward in the US market very soon. All the Dell phone, not the MID, the Dell phone, all the software from Dell phone is actually provided by us.
Who are your competitors?
Competitors is a very good question. Used to be in the industry, there are actually about 2 to 3 companies that can actually compete with us. One company called Wind River, and the other one is called Teleka. Now, in the history is Wind River was bought by Intel about a year ago, I think so. And then after that, Wind River becomes doing what they're doing right now is called Amigo, because Intel and Nokia has some collaboration called Amigo and other operating system for the handset. Therefore, Wind River is no longer competitors. The only one remaining is actually a company called Teleka, based in Sweden, and they have done the software customizations on the phones. But on the other hand, you look at the industry right now. Probably we're the only company that actually has done significant Android customization on the phone. And last year we launched about 8 customized Android phone last year, and this year we're going to launch about 30 plus this year.
So I mean, your eventual market is global, right?
Yes.
But at the moment, the main activity, both in terms of product development and sales, are in China.
Not really true. About 25% of our revenue is actually international.
Oh, okay. How different is it in China? What's the difference between the China mobile scene and what you'd find in the United States and then again in Europe?
Yeah, that's a very good question. You look at the, we call it a generic Android, okay? And it's exactly a very good platform, and Google spent about more than $500 million in doing that. But it's actually, in everywhere we see, this Android platform need to be localized for the in-country usage as well as to suit the in-country operator needs. For instance, in China, you have the mobile TV called CMMB. The generic Android does not support CMMB. and we have to modify the Android to support the mobile TV on the Android. Another very simple thing like the J2ME. Android does not support J2ME, and then we have to do work to make the Android platform support the J2ME. Okay, and this is applied to not only China but also worldwide market. On top of it, like in China, the people like to do handwriting, and all these handwriting style, and then the way how to do messaging, texting, has to be localized for the Chinese use.
What's the risk in your industry from regulation? Because China, I mean, any communications or network business, one of the bigger risks that you don't have in certain other parts of the world is that the regulators will decide, no, you're not allowed to do that business, or change the rules. Does that affect you?
Not at all, because the one thing Google has done well, and it's only very nice, is Google has actually made the Android open source. It's actually based on open source. Then we do the modification. It really does not tie to any government regulation at all.
While we're on the subject of Google, how will Google's slightly ungraceful exit from China affect Android?
It's actually a very good question. I think you look at it from a two perspective, and how does it affect China Mobile, and how does it affect the other operators in China. From China Mobile perspective, the way we do the old phone, since day one, and we have understanding with Google that the platform will not connect to the Google backend system, like the Google Mail, the mobile market. Therefore, from the impact perspective, the Android or Google leaving China does not impact China Mobile at all. But on the other hand, the Android leaving China will have some impact to Unicom and to China Telecom, because for them, they are launching the generic Android phones, and on those generic Android phones, you don't see any Google application on top of it. Therefore, you buy a generic Android phone for Unicom and Telecom, but it has no application on it. Then it's really impact the other operators.
But Android is not actually technically leaving China. It's just the search engine servers have gone to Hong Kong, but am I correct that development of mobile phone technology is still going on in Beijing?
The way you look at it is the Android itself, the handset operating system, right? In order to get the Google application, for instance, the mobile market, the Android mobile market, okay, you need to get the approval from Google. But in China, the Android mobile market and the associated application like the GMS, GTalk on the Android phone will not be able to ship in China at all.
So where do you see your company in 5 years' time?
Good questions. Now, we are, right now, the company is the anchor customers in China, even though we have 25% of our revenue going to international. We see our company going forward as a truly replicate our success in China Mobile, into different regions in the world, in different operators in the world. That's part one of the company. The second part of the company, we also actually do a lot of the back-end services as well. Like for instance, a lot of the phones all the old phones, the contents of old phone will in future will be actually synchronized in the back-end server. And what we do is provide technology services in the back-end system to do and to provide more meaningful application services to the old phone, both for China as well for international operators.
And when you say international operators, where are you looking at primarily? Because they're obviously very different markets, Japan, the US, Africa even.
We see US is interesting. We see India very interesting. And we see these two places that are probably most promising.
Have you had working experience in India?
Yes, we have.
And how do you find it? I asked Alan earlier about this, and this is one of those questions that I find tech entrepreneurs who've been working in China sometimes go to India, hearing a lot of good things about it. And a lot of the ones I know, perhaps they've been in China a long time, they're just very familiar with the way things are done in China. Foreigners I'm talking about. Go to India and freak out. They think, I can't work here. How have you found India?
Probably I have a little bit different experience. When I was at UT Stockholm, I managed the lab in India as well. And actually, our company, Borqs, we have 3 labs. 1 lab's in Beijing, 1 lab in Shenzhen. We actually had a lab in Bangalore. Okay, and then we see the Indian engineers are technically very good, language-wise very good, definitely. And you also see there are times that you really need to have the languages to work with some of the customers. And there are times that you have to position as you are a non-Chinese company to work with some of the international operators. Okay, and last but not least, also we need to work on the India market as well. and therefore we have a lab in India to support the Indian potential customers.
Do you have any numbers comparing India and China, the mobile markets, and 3G uptake?
It's probably too early to say because the India just actually has a bid on the 3G license recently. And, but you will see that the two of the fastest growing market in the whole world in the mobile handset subscriber is definitely China and India. This is two great areas to do mobile business.
Okay, one final question. What would your advice be to an entrepreneur or a company looking to come to China?
China is a bit different from the international customers. Internationally, you really have a good technology, you have a good sales team, then that probably is 90%. In China, you really have to have the relationship and understanding what is needed and how things should be done in China. Good technology is only a portion of the success.
So relationships, I mean, this means you have to spend a long time here, basically.
You really have to understand what the customer needs from a macroscopic perspective, not today's need, but really for the need of the customer in the whole pictures of the ecosystem.
So just to tease the question out a little bit more, does this make it difficult for foreign companies to operate here?
I think the way to look at it, to be successful in each country, usually you need local presence. You really have to have a presence in China and understanding the need to be successful. I don't think it would be successful to someone based on the US or Europe to send some delegates and station in China and hopefully to resell the product. I don't think that will work anymore.
You've got to be here. Okay. Pat, thank you very much.
Thank you.